What's up, everybody? Big episode today. A couple things to go over. Really excited about in the world of Tottenham. Transfer season's really starting to heat up for us, and not just transfers, signings overall. So let's just get right into it. Big day. Captain Cuti Romero signs a 4-year extension, taking him through 2029, as first reported by Paul O'Keefe and confirmed, obviously, with the Here We Go by Romano. Big deal. I mean, this is a huge signing for Tottenham, because I think, there was obviously those links in the offseason where people were thinking he might go to Atletico Madrid. Apparently, from the reporting, Frank had a chat with him in June, seemingly probably right around the time where he was just got hired. And I guess since that chat he had, there really hasn't been any serious links, which is why you never really saw any fees reported or any serious negotiations going on between Cuti and Atletico Madrid. So the fact that we can lock him down for another couple years is so crucial to building this squad out, because I think that when you can rely on your center backs, obviously we've seen it in the years past, when you have a reliable center back partnership, that just springboards the team to be able to have success up the pitch. And when you're building, you don't have to worry about rotating and replacing those players. And so I think that's just going to be so big for us. I think that there is a really good chance now, being Cuti, I think is 27, that he could go on and probably play through, he's 27, play through the rest of his prime, and maybe extends his prime into his early to late 30s, but his real prime ages of those 27 to 31. I think he'll play out the rest of this contract probably. And so I think we're going to get Cuti for at least a couple more years, which is very exciting for Tottenham fans, because I think he is by far our best player. I think there's some argument to be made when other players are fit and healthy, that you could say maybe James Maddison, even Decky on his day, I think. But I think it's clear that right now in the squad, for sure, he's our best player, our most important player, the new captain of the club. So that's great to see that business get done. And basically a Paul O'Keefe bomba coming out of nowhere. Nobody, I think, anticipated this even being signed, and especially the years that the extension was. So that's great. We also have another deal, if I can scroll down here a little bit, another deal announced by the club somewhere in here. Djed Spence is who I was trying to get to. Djed Spence also signing for the club. This had been reported for a couple weeks now that he was going to get a new contract, because he did have a contract that was extended, I believe, last season, at the start of last season. But with his performance and the way that he played last season. I'm sorry, I was struggling to find the tweet, but so it's kind of ruining my train of thought. But great performance last season, really came out of nowhere. His breakthrough year, a fantastic year for the club, and the fact that he's going to sign on another contract to get higher wages, I believe, to kind of put him more in line with the other fullbacks of the club. Great to see. He's such an important player for the club, not just because he can fill in and play multiple positions, but because of that quality that he brings when he plays those positions. I think it's gotten to the fact now, after the last 6 to 8 months, where you feel like there's no real drop off between Pedro or Destiny when you bring Djed Spence in the game, and their games aren't quite the same. They're not exactly the same. They're not like a 1-for-1 replacement, but Djed brings so much quality with his defending. I think he's probably just as good of a 1v1 defender as Destiny Udogie, and he does have a lot of the creative output that Pedro Porro does too, just obviously not quite to that level with his passing range and everything, but his carrying and dribbling, and even scoring some goals last season, he has a decent shot on him too. So because obviously he played some up higher the pitch as a winger, and especially a wing back. He had that great season with Forest when they won promotion and got into the Premier League a couple seasons back, when we first got him from Nottingham Forest. So awesome to see Spence at the club. Awesome to see him signing on and playing another couple seasons for us. And it seems like he really loves being here. And I think with him, Cuti's had the love for pretty much since he got here. Djed's been a different story. Fans have been on and off again with him and not always shown him the most appreciation that he probably deserves. So the fact that he has started to earn that appreciation from basically the whole fan base over the last year, I think is really great. And it seems like he wants to be here in Tottenham. So that's fantastic. I say here in Tottenham. I'm recording this in the United States, but be at Tottenham. Anyways, so more important news brewing this afternoon. So the most recent reporting from a few different sources is that Crystal Palace and Tottenham are trying to come to a fee that, barring some kind of big mishap and breakdown in negotiations, will be coming to Tottenham. It's just primarily about the fee, and then there was some reporting this morning about them trying to find the right replacement for him. But it seems like, I thought I had a tweet pulled up here. Seems like the reporting on that is El Canus would be the replacement, and the Crystal Palace and Leicester are advancing in negotiations. And Leicester looks like, because his release clause expired a couple days ago, as did Eze's, Leicester is willing to negotiate a fee somewhere around 25 to 30 million euros or pounds. So looks like that's progressing all well. And so I don't think the Eze thing is going to happen anytime soon. Immediately, I think it will probably still be a couple more days before anything serious comes out about Eze, before we really start getting either the Here We Goes or the Bombas or anything leaking about him officially becoming a Tottenham player. But it looks like it's heading in the right direction. So fingers crossed on that one. Obviously, it looks like he had a very emotional goodbye at the weekend against Chelsea during the game and after the game. And the reporting is it looks like he's been removing some Crystal Palace stuff from his social media. So it looks like things are heading in that direction, but there's no real, that's not, written in stone at this point. That's just kind of the social media rumors and whatnot. But anyways, back to another player that is rumored. The latest on Savinho from Guillaume Balaguer is that the Savinho deal might be off. Looks like Pep wants Savinho to stay at Manchester City for this season at least. So that one seems to be maybe breaking down a little bit. And in my honest opinion, I don't know if that's the worst thing. I put out a tweet earlier based off of this great tweet that Lily White Lab put out earlier, giving us some alternatives of players that could be in consideration if the Savinho deal breaks down. And I personally think that Savinho is a top talent, and I think that he could be a really, really good player in the Premier League, and he could warrant his 50 million or so market value at this point. But if we're being asked to spend something around 70 million pounds, I think that money would be better spent elsewhere. In my opinion, it would be more beneficial for us to really push to get Nkapie, who's been rumored to be a strong interest of Tottenham's. And if we could push to get his signing through the door this offseason or this summer transfer window, and then, maybe still potentially bring in somebody as a young talent at that left wing position. But the reality is we have a few players in Odegaard and Tell, and, Thomas Franks even played Brennan there. And, Eze, if we got him through, could play on the left wing at times if Matters came back. So it's like, there is some depth there, some decent depth there. And I don't want to write off Odegaard or even Tell, which, Tell, I'm not sure if that's his best position or if striker is, but I don't want to write off Odegaard. I want Odegaard to get plenty of minutes. And then next season, Mikey Moore comes back from his loan and you want him to get minutes. So it's like the left wing isn't that big of a concern for me. And then obviously we saw at the weekend, Mo Kudus is nailed on for that right wing position basically as long as he's healthy. So I think left wing isn't a dire need for us, but I think we still do need to get in some attacking depth. So bringing in somebody maybe younger or somebody who could play the wide position and maybe through the middle or something like that. But going back to Lily White Lab's tweet, Kish brings up some options there, being Barcola, Liao, and Yildiz as his dream scenarios. And I actually really would like to see Barcola if the deal falls through for Savinho. I think if we could make a push for Barcola, I don't know if PSG would be selling or not, but they have a lot of depth there, so maybe they would be open to selling. I know Barcola was maybe rumored to be on the market earlier, like super early in this transfer window. I also think that it would be interesting to see us, potentially just kind of pocket that money for the left winger. I want us to spend our funds that are available because it hardly ever happens, but maybe pocket that money and save the attacking star for next season potentially. And maybe that's somebody like Savinho. I'm really high on Savinho. I think if he, I know he's kind of plays that striker in a front two, or even a striker in a 4-3-3. So it's like maybe striker's more of his best position, but I think he probably could play on the left. So I don't know if we could fit him into Thomas Frank's system super organically, but I love Savinho. And even some of those options that Kish mentions there, I'd be super stoked about. Barcola would be great. So I don't think the Savinho deal falling through would be that detrimental to the progress of the squad this offseason. So I would still like us to spend the funds if they're available. And so that's why I think, if we really could push for that Hincapié deal, a fantastic player who can cover left center back, left back, great passing range, was in top, I think the 95th percentile or 90th percentile last season for progressive passes and passing percentage and a bunch of passing metrics, great pace. He's great on the ball as well, and obviously a solid defender there for Leverkusen, a big part of their undefeated season a couple seasons ago. So would be a great talent at only 23 years old still. So if we could bring him through the door, I wouldn't be so mad about the Savinho deal falling through. So anyways, that's all the updates for right now. I'm recording this around noon US time on Monday. We'll see what happens with the Eze deal as it progresses, and I'll probably come back on here at another time, either today or tomorrow, and give you guys updates on that, give you my thoughts on that. So, exciting times. It seems like things are actually starting to move now. We had a great win over the weekend, fantastic performances by the squad all around, it seems like, and now things are moving the market. So I'm crossing my fingers at this point that it continues to go well and we'll have a fun weekend ahead of us. So Man City at the weekend, so hopefully get some fun news before that. So anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time. Peace.